Well, earlier we saw President Cyril Ramaphosa addressing the media ahead of his visit to the UK. Ramaphosa will join 52 other leaders of the Commonwealth nations who will be meeting in London for this week for the biannual Heads of Government meeting. Our reporter Nickolaus Bauer was at that particular briefing at OR Tambo International Airport. It, of course, concluded just a short while ago. Nickolaus, the President certainly sounding optimistic about what this team of envoys that he's put together will be able to accomplish under the, of course, guidance of his newly appointed economic advisor.
Well, indeed, it was a roaring story from Ramaphosa, one of lions and leopards, as he unveiled a special investment team, which consists of 4 specialized posts that the President has filled to go and seek out investment using their contacts that they built up in the corporate sector. Among those, former Finance Minister Trevor Manuel and also Deputy Finance Minister, the former Deputy Finance Minister, Nickolaus Jonas. And it seems as though the President is not only optimistic, but he set a very, very high bar for what they're aiming at, $100 billion of foreign direct investment over the next 5 years. And essentially, the President said that he learned during his time in business that any new company needs to have an investment book that they can look into and seek investment from a range of people wanting to put their money where their mouth is, so to speak, and use this investment book to help grow. And that's essentially what he's trying to do with the South African economy, Kathy.
And of course, they've also outlined exactly how these envoys will work so as to not create any conflict between themselves and the departments which already exist.
Well, yes. I mean, the South African government is accused so often of playing the double-up game and essentially appointing people to posts that could arguably be done by an existing government department or existing bureaucrat within a government department. President Ramaphosa was adamant, though, that these investment lions, so to speak, are not going to step on the toes of officials from the Department of Trade and Industry or indeed the Department of Economic Development. And essentially, they're going to be using their networks that they've built up during their time in government, during their time in the corporate sector, to act as envoys, act as extensions of officials already in government departments, and of course the President himself. It's essentially trying to go to specifically the African continent, was one region that the President underlined, and go and seek out the investment, go and actively seek out those wanting to put their money where their mouth is and help grow the South African economy.
How much time is the President expecting these individuals to commit to this process, Nickolaus?
Well, essentially, you know, it's not the only jobs that they're going to be doing. So I should imagine that they're going to essentially comes to investment. And essentially, you're talking the talk in the corporate world, you'll be able to have this extra card in your arsenal to say that I'm a special envoy of the President of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, and let's talk about the money that you want to put into our economy, and we can talk about perhaps the returns that our economy can offer you. There's also another big announcement this evening, Kathy, and that is of the President's Special Economic Advisor, Trudy Makaya. eNCA listener or eNCA viewers would of course know her from her brief stint at eNCA, but the lady comes with a vast wealth of experience as an economist, as a financial analyst, as a watcher of the markets, and of course as a commissioner at the Competition Commission as well. So I am certainly looking forward to her time as economic advisor to the President. Also very happy that a woman has been appointed to the post with such great credentials, and we wait to see see if this is going to culminate in an explosion of investment. If you were speaking to Cyril Ramaphosa and you heard him during his speech here, he is hoping that an investment summit happens in South Africa towards the end of the year, and hopefully we'll be looking at a lot of the fruit that he's talking about bearing towards the end of the year as we reach that goal, hopefully of $100 billion in foreign direct investment over the next 5 years.
All right, Nickolaus, that's where we leave it for tonight. Nickolaus Bauer out at the Invest SA media briefing that took place at OR Tambo International Airport earlier on tonight.